It's the NHL on TNT Postgame show presented by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Blackhawks tie team record for the most goals they've ever scored in St. Louis. They hang 8 on the Blues. The only other time they did that was back in 1990. Hawks roll in this one. St. Louis, kind of curious how they respond to this. Kind of curious what's said in the post game after this one by Jim Montgomery. We're back in the studio. Liam McHugh, Paul.
He said flush it down the toilet.
Flush it.
Anson Carter. Well,
Flush it.
I'm wondering about that, Henrik Lundqvist, because, listen, some things you flush, and some things, if you're Jim Montgomery, you're just probably like, we're going to talk about this right now.
Well, every coach is different how they handle it. Sometimes when it's that bad, you don't even bother going into the locker room. It's like you let the guys think about it, let it marinate overnight, and then you have a very interesting video meeting the next day. But I felt like they responded after the first gift, the first goal. Second goal, they responded. But after that third, fourth goal, and then the fifth, that's when the wheels came off, and there was just a no-show. But it happens, you know, when you work so hard to get back in the game, and then you keep giving it back, so to speak, and it was just hard for them to recover. At the same time, got to give Chicago a lot of credit. I love the way they played, a lot of energy, a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
An interesting year out in Chicago.
Energy and
Youth
confidence.
and speed, energy, confidence. Let's get to our guests right now. Connor Bedard, Frank Nazar joining us.
Wow, look
There
at this
they are,
one.
guys.
Dynamic duel. Blackhawks fans are drooling right now at this combo.
All right, you've already hijacked the segment. Do you want to just keep going?
Well, I mean, it's good, Frankie, that I get to talk to you and not have to talk about you getting rocked in the game against Montreal. We get talking with that goal you scored. Incredible skill. Walk us through that play.
Yeah, thank you. You're just bringing it up because I got rocked again after. But great wall play by Bert, and had a lot of speed with it, and figured I had a few chances earlier that I didn't take to the net. So I was going to take that one to the bank and try to put it home.
Connor, we're going to get to you in a second, but I want to ask Frankie that he has you sitting next to him. What's it feel like, and what's the bench's reaction when they watch Connor Bedard not take any guff from anybody, just standing up for himself and showing that this year's going to be a lot different than previous years?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I know it's a Michigan, not
it's pretty
Michigan State,
funny.
but we'll let that one slide.
Or BU, but yeah, no, it's pretty funny watching them go out there not taking any. And I mean, we got a lot of guys on our team that are going to stand up for each other, and you've seen that this whole season so far. And you know, it makes the game a lot more fun and more emotional. And honestly, I think it helps us and gets us engaged into the game.
Connor and Hank here. I'm curious to know, like, you guys are a talented group, but for you guys to take this next step, watching you guys tonight, we talked a lot about your speed as a team, the confidence you're showing. What did you guys talk about over the summer going into training camp? The biggest improvement you guys have to make as a team to take this big next step now?
Yeah, I think for us, we got to build that kind of, identity of who we're going to be. And, we're young, like you said, we're fast. We're going to play with energy. We're competitive. We want to win. We don't want to win in 3 years. We want to win now. And, we just got to, work hard and play our game and not kind of deviate from that. So, you'll win some, you'll lose some. But if we stick to what we are, then I think we'll be good.
Connor, it's Biz here. And not to say it wasn't there before, but I've been blown away by this year, the growth that you've shown in the compete department. We obviously joked about you kind of, taking a lot of attention from other teams and getting roughed up and not backing down. But what do you attribute the growth that we've seen so far this year that maybe was done in the off season?
Yeah, I mean, I came in feeling good. I know I'm a good hockey player, and, I'm going to make a difference out there. And I think, like Frankie said, when you're, getting in the stuff and as a group, we're all kind of in it as one, it gets you into the game, and it's fun, man. It's a physical, competitive sport, and, we want to be engaged, and that's when we're going to be at our best, and myself included. So obviously we're only a few games in, and we got to build on this, but so far I like what we're doing.
Final one here. Frankie, I'm curious. You guys are young, but, relatively new to this rivalry. You played this team, a few times at this point. But how sweet is it to go into St. Louis and put 8 up there? And does that affect you when you get headlocked to the ground and then decide to celebrate still after?
Definitely feels good. I think a lot of us still remember the Winter Classic last year. So going into the games, every time we play them, we're thinking about it and knowing how that game went and wishing we could have it back. And that's something that at least myself and I know a few other guys think of, and it's definitely felt sweet today.
Well, Connor, that was definitely the opposite of pond hockey, so incredible job tonight.
Great job, guys.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
NHL's new Batman and Robin now. Great stuff, fellas.
Yeah. We'll try. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Congrats, guys.
Congrats. That's right. I mean, listen, last year they were swept by St. Louis. They get the outdoor game. It's in Wrigley. They lose that game. Listen, you're young, and I guess we think, like, they're growing. Who cares about these losses? It's all leading up to something. If you're living through it, it still means something. But now this Chicago team, I don't think anyone's thinking playoffs, but just the idea that you see them on the schedule and you think, oh, you know what, we're in for something here. Maybe some speed, maybe a little bit of grit that we didn't see before.
Yeah, and also if you want playoffs or not, if you want to improve, you need to play meaningful games. And you need to play in good games with structure and try to play winning hockey. And let's see down the road if it's going to be enough. But either way, for them to learn and to get better as a team and to take these next steps, they need to play, again, meaningful hockey, winning hockey. That's how they're going to improve and get better. Skill they have. But now it's about understanding what it takes. We had Florida on earlier tonight on the show, and that's a team that understands, the momentum swings in hockey, when to play a certain style and what it takes. So when you're new, when you're young in the league, sometimes it takes a little bit to build that.
Didn't it feel a little different, that conversation with Connor Bedard, Hank? I felt like in previous years we talked to him, he was an introvert kind of, not really comfortable in his own skin, even though he's had all this attention on him from such a young age. And now he just looks so relaxed. And maybe it's because he's got a wingman now and Frankie Nazar riding shotgun with him, but something just feels different about him, not just his play on the ice, but just his interaction with us off the ice.
Yeah, but you have to remember, each year when you're 19, 20, 21, that's a big year. Maybe when you go from 27, 28, 29, it's not that big of a difference. But when you're that young, every year is massive in how much you learn and grow as a player, as a person. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing not a new version of Bedard, but maybe just added on some new elements to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in interesting times, right? I would say you'd be hard-pressed to find another guy who's been more scrutinized as a first overall pick because he's been compared to the McDavids, the Austin Matthews, right? And, hey, let's not forget, he won the Calder his first year as Rookie of the Year. I think there was a little bit of a regression last year, right? Maybe a little bit more added pressure after coming off of that first year. And with that attention comes top D pairings from other teams. You're playing against other teams' top centermen. You're getting the stinky mitt face washes in the face, the extra little cross check. So I just think, like, from what I saw last year to what I've seen in the first 4 games for these guys, it's a world of growth, and it's a testament to the effort that he put in the offseason. I was actually fortunate enough to train with a guy, Cumby, in Vancouver, and he actually took on Bedard this summer to partly train him. And where he was maybe doing some things wrong, took a few steps back and readjusted his thinking and his approach to how he handles his offseason. And it's clear that he's coming in looking a lot fresher. I'm not the biggest analytics guy, but if you look at the speed burst difference, and that was maybe one of the criticisms on his game, is he doesn't have that jump. He looks like a faster player. So I want to praise this guy for the amount of probably like the criticism he's taken online, even for me at certain times, and how he's kind of ignored the noise, put the effort and time and energy in. And it's obviously translating to his game, and it's not going to get it easier. He said that. It's like earlier. We still got a long way to go here, but you can clear this team, and him and Nazar are taking steps in the right direction. So congratulations to Connor on an incredible game, and I hope to see more of what we saw tonight.
And the numbers are better. I mean, his speed bursts, his top speed, they're all up from where they were last year. He's clearly worked on it, and it's just noticeable. The eye test, you see, he looks a little bit faster.
Unreal.
On the other side, St. Louis, we came into the game just wondering what St. Louis was going to be like this year. And Jim Montgomery, when this game was 2-2, talked to Darren Pang, and he seemed pretty confident about where this game was going to go. Take a listen.
An inauspicious start, of course, with goals against, but do you feel like you're settling down now?
No, I like the way we played. It's been a real fast game. The Hawks are playing well, and I think we're slowly but surely we're going to start taking it over.
So they got outscored 6-1 after that, and it's how they got outscored. And I know there were some goals, but a couple of the gifts were actually before that. But it's guys that maybe just weren't that noticeable. You know, we think about the team that went on an absolute tear late last year to make the playoffs and then put that scare into the number 1 seed, the Winnipeg Jets. Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas. Did you see much of anything from either one of them today?
Kyrou was pretty much invisible. And I think the guy that really has to drag these guys through it is Robert Thomas. He's a Patrice Bergeron type player, plays great 200-foot hockey. He didn't do enough for me for the St. Louis Blues. Now, it doesn't help not getting the goaltending that you want or you want to get or
True.
expect to get early in the hockey game because it set them back a little bit. But this is a team that made the postseason last year, so they should be able to overcome these slow starts, especially early in this hockey season, because at this point, teams want to start banking these points. When they start banking these points, in this game against Chicago Blackhawks, last year would have been winnable. But it's clear this is a different Blackhawks team because they're a lot more resilient than we saw from them in previous years.
Yeah, Central's going to be hard. We were talking about this
Yeah.
a lot off camera, and these are definitely points, if you're St. Louis, that you have to collect. I don't necessarily see a game like this as a bad thing this early in the season, because obviously you can go back to the drawing board. If you're Monty, you could say, guys, I know we had a successful run last year, but this is a new year, and we're going to have to fight and claw exactly like we did, because they don't necessarily have the team and personnel where they can't compete night in, night out. They don't have that high-level skill outside of a few guys that can just carry them to win. So,
But hang on. If that's the case, do you flush it like Anson, or do you go back? Tell me.
So
do you go to the video room?
So I mean, I've played it with coaches who, like, they were brutal in the video room. Actually, Mike Stuthers, like, in a funny way though, he's now an assistant coach for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I was playing for the Owen Sound Attack, and we had a game much like tonight where we had to pull the starting goalie, the backup went in. Another funny story about that is the backup goalie goes in and the puck drops, the first sequence goes, he makes a save, and he was eating nibs in his pants, and that's where he was holding him when he was backing up, and he forgot to take them out. So these nibs are all over the ice, and he's scooping them into the net.
What league was this?
This is in the Ontario Hockey League. Okay?
Iron League, the Federal
So he's
League.
scooping these nibs into the net as the play's going back up ice. Whatever, the game ends. It was like an 8-2, 8-3 blowout like that. And he was famous for his video meetings where you're hoping, okay, I didn't make too many mistakes that night, so I'm not going to get lit up. But he's going to have his laser pointer out, and it's going to be an absolute comedy routine of him roasting guys the next day. And obviously, he went through the whole team, including me. And then he made sure to reference the nibs thing, saying, he's like, I got to call your agent and tell him you got a cavity here, and just started throwing more of the jokes. So he was famous for that. I don't know if necessarily that's Monty's approach. He seems like more of a player's coach. I would imagine a very difficult practice with a lot of battles and cleaning up the D zone and bringing a lot of effort is in order. But I don't think he's going to be lighting the guys up too hard this early. But just a mental refresh of, what do we have to do to be successful?
Yeah, and I think you can't read in too much of this game and this performance. They were in it until, you saw maybe the third gift, as we call them, the goals here tonight. And that's when the wheels came off a little bit in terms of maybe intensity and effort, and it happens. So you got to be careful, too, not to overreact. It was a bad game, no question. But in terms of, getting out there with the video and exposing guys, I think you just move on. This was terrible. Let's respond. They know they need to be better. They know in what areas they need to be better, starting with some saves back there.
Big win for the Chicago Blackhawks, 8-3, the final over the Blues.
Yeah.
You Kane Taves.
Not yet, Cole.
Ooh.
Not yet.
Cole's wishful thinking there, man. Legend.
Cole.
You got a dream.
Speaking of, how about this guy? Still got it. Taves back in
got
the
it.
league. Kane's still delivering. Maybe trying to earn an Olympic spot along the way. Look at the Red Wings after this.